website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. Hey, I have to pull myself together. How often do you say that to yourself or feel like that? I gotta pull myself together. It's what we call self-discipline, right? But I have one question for you, and this is kind of controversial for many people because I'm going to talk about the 3 levels of the brain, and I have some comments below these videos that said there aren't 3 levels of the brain. We do not come from monkeys. I just have one comment for that. I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to say to you, every belief has consequences. It's not free to believe stuff because it's going to affect the way you think about stuff, right? So it costs you something. The truer your belief, the more aligned with actual reality it is, the more effective it is, the higher the chances that it's actually going to produce the results you want in your life, right? And if you have to defend something that you say you believe, this is getting really, right? If you have to defend a belief you say you have, it's not a belief, it's a doubt. If I tell you that there's no gravity, gravity is an illusion, are you going to defend gravity? Or are you just going to say, okay, that's cool, Claus. Yeah, totally. There's no gravity, right? Why? Why do you not have the urge to defend gravity? Because what, right? Because you totally, completely believe it and experience it, right? And if you have to defend that we don't come from monkeys, are you really sure, right? If you have to defend it? No, you're not. The only reason why you think we have to defend it is because you're not sure. So you have to always reignite your false belief that we do not come from there. Sorry. This can get very, very toxic in the comments below. You're very welcome to comment whatever you think about what I just said. But so it's not free. But so what does it mean when you say, I have to pull myself together? And how is it relevant to guitar practicing? Because pulling yourself together is not going to give you huge results. Right? We think that. We think, if we see a guy with really amazing skills who can do amazing magical things, that must come from an enormous amount of self-discipline and effort, right? It doesn't. But what happens? Are we two, right? Are you two? If you say, I have to pull myself together, who's pulling who together? What entity is pulling what entity together? Are you schizophrenic? Are there 2 of you? There's one over here say, I have to pull myself together. So I say, oh, you should really, unless if you don't, then you won't follow your plan and you'll be an unworthy, of the great skills you want. Okay, I think I'll do it then. Okay, what's going on here? Right? Is that a kind of a schizo? It is. Because there are more than one level of the brain. So who says, I need to pull myself together? Who's the I and who's the myself? The I is the frontal lobes. It's the analytical, abstract, uniquely human part of the brain who's going to pull the monkey part of the brain, the midsection level, not the reptile, but the midsection level of the brain. Developmental stages, right, together. So you're going to pull this part together. The upper part is going to pull the next level down here, the midsection, together. Why is that necessary? Because the monkey just thinks about eating and, the thing we don't talk about too much because we can't if children are listening, and, sleeping and, getting rid of stuff they put in their mouths, right? All this, we can't say, okay, I can, but, so it's very basic. That's all he wants to do. And if there's no dangers around, if there's nothing, you got a full stomach, there's no lying hunting you, all you want to do is lying on your back and relax, right? Of course, that's the entity, that's the level of the brain that you, the upper level, are trying to pull together. How? When you say that, I want to pull myself together, it means that I want to kick you in the butt. I want to say, if you don't do it, stuff will happen that is painful. And you try to convince this rather simple being, the midsection, of moving, right? by frustration or saying, this is it, you made a decision and now you're going to do it. That's the energy, right? Do it. Come on, right? But we know from every single study there is that that's the worst kind of learning you can. Sometimes you need to push yourself over the barrier to get moving, and then it becomes fun to practice, right? You just have to get your butt from the couch into the room of practicing, and then you get momentum and it's fun. That's okay. That's how you use self-discipline, or that's how you pull yourself together. But if you have to pull yourself together every second of practicing because you don't want to do it, do something else. Don't waste your life, right? And that's not the way to do it. The way to do it, most often, is to be inspired. So what does that mean? Well, that means that instead of having to pull yourself together, which you sometimes do, but just for a second, right? But inspiration is something else. That's you using your abstract mind of imagining yourself. That's the unique human quality. We can imagine worlds that don't exist. We can imagine us flying and we've never seen it before. We can imagine a cart with a horse without the horses, and we can drive. And we can, a car. We can imagine the most crazy things and create them. And you can imagine being an amazing guitar player and then create it. But the imagining starts the whole process, because that's what makes the monkey go, oh, what? I can have all this pleasure? That's what happens when you get inspired, is that all levels of the brain just says, wow, this is incredible. So you're the salesperson, not me, not anybody else. You're the salesperson that says, oh, that looks amazing, standing on a stage, being that good, people admiring my skills and what I can do, and I can move them emotionally. I can make that amazing music I want to create. And you imagine it, you feel it, you sense it, you smell it almost before it happens, and then you get inspired. You visit that musical instrument store, you go to that concert, you subscribe to guitar magazines and look at the glossy paper, you convert your wanting of new instruments and gear into practicing and say, if I practice like this, if I do this, I can buy that guitar in 1 month, 2 months, whatever it is. You inspire yourself, you become very good at that. Right? So the monkey wakes up and remember its priorities, right? All the cool stuff I can get, all the admiration from my other teammates here, the pack animal, right? All the others that make me, all the things and then the thing we don't talk about too much, of replicating the species, right? All that I'm going to get as well. That's what it sees when it sees that amazing image of you being that much of a musical leader, right? So it wakes up to that, and then you don't have to kick it in the butt anymore, because it is inspired, right? So your whole brain goes, I need to practice, right? And that's what it means to be passionately, enthusiastically into it. You can't do that all the time, though. So you have to go back and forth between that. But inspiration is the source, is the key. But if you can use both, if you can use and be very conscious about being inspired, and just seek that inspiration all the time, allow yourself to be inspired and a little bit obsessed. So people are going to go, hey, will you stop talking about guitar? Right? Sometimes, will you stop playing all the time? Will you stop practicing with no sound when you're with me? No, I won't, right? Because you're obsessed, right? But if you can get to that place and still use a little bit of the pulling yourself together, because even so, you can sit on the couch, you can be a little bit tired after a day's work, and you still need that little push of pulling myself together, right? The frontal lobes pulling that, more basic part of the brain together. If you can do that as well and be conscious about being inspired and seeking that inspiration all the time, then you really have a combination, a powerful cocktail running your guitar development. Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.